Good evening, team. Just making sure we are live. It has taken me 4 minutes to get here. It was connecting for 4 minutes. Oh my goodness. And always, why does it always take so long? Okay, come on. Are we live? Yes, we are live. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to tag everyone. Awesome. And now that means that you all get notified. So you know that I'm here. So you know that I'm going to deliver you 5 things that you should start in 2025 to lose weight and keep it off. First of all, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. 2025, what the actual hell? I have already written 2024 multiple times on many documents already. And I don't know if I'm going to get used to it. Maybe I'll get used to it by October, November, or December. That would be quite useful. So I wanted to just start and reiterate something that is really important to me because I was thinking about it today. For me to deliver you the information that I deliver, the content, these live videos, all of it is about sustainable weight loss. And I was thinking today, like, what does sustainable weight loss mean for me? Why is what I do so important to me? And January 2025, I have already come across so many quick fix solutions already on my Facebook page. And well, I guess I am looking at weight loss content, but I'm not buying programs. So the algorithm isn't necessarily sending me programs. So that means if I'm coming across them, I can guarantee you, every one of you are probably going to come across some sort of quick fix, quick solution, empty promise, empty guarantee that doesn't actually mean sustainable weight loss. So if you're in this group, I want you to know that everything that I teach, all the content is designed for you to lose weight sustainably. And why is that important? Because when we jump on a fast fix solution, it's not actually a solution, it's just a band-aid. Now, there are many reasons why, and I'm not going to go into it because that's not what the aim of this is about, but there are many reasons why they don't work. A lot is about deprivation. We get bored, there's no pleasure in it. It encourages, what's the word? Deficiencies. So a lot of diets just completely eradicate food groups such as carbohydrates or fats or proteins. Very restrictive, very deprivational, and all of these reasons basically mount up to the main reason as why these short-term fixes don't work. They're not long-term solutions. So if you want to drop 10 pounds by January the 7th, awesome, but all of the content in here might not help you lose that much that quickly. Now, don't get me wrong, we have had some unicorn people coming through here and losing weight so quickly. In 2 months, we had Amy losing 20 pounds. In 5 days, we had Sherry losing 11 pounds. In 1 week, we've had 4 pounds, 8 pounds loss. So it can happen very fast, but my main principles and goals of this group, of having my coaching program, of working with clients, is to give you the tools and solutions so you get to go away from that program and apply them every single day, not have to go but get back on the bandwagon, not have to start a diet again, but utilize the information and the tools that I give you so that at any time you can easily manage your weight. And I like to think of it as like guiding a horse with reins. So you're walking along and you use a little like, if you notice that you're veering off track, you just use a tool. So you just pull that rein in and then it steers the horse straight. And then maybe if you go the other way, you just pull that other rein in, and that's another tool. And then you pull the horse back in line. And that's really, really what I focus on and base everything around. And I've had a few people reaching out to me recently, a few past clients, saying that they're continuing to lose weight and that they are utilizing the tools, and my sentences and analogies and words and stuff, they're sticking in their minds. so that they are able to lose weight without feeling like they have to get back on, jump back on, start again, because that feels like a monumental task. It feels quite, it takes up a lot of mental and physical energy to feel like you're getting back on. Some people have to empty out the pantry. Some people try and eat all of that food to instead of letting it go to waste. And just starting again is incredibly difficult to think about, let alone overcome. So I just wanted to let you know that this is the place for sustainable weight loss. You can get quick results. There's plenty of evidence for that, but everything is designed to give you tools for life. And that is really, really what's important to me, not for you to get instant results only to regain it back again, because 95% of women who lose weight gain it back and more. And I don't want that. Like, everyone who tunes in, dials into the challenges, the trainings, these free videos, everything that I teach is so you can remain in that 5%, right? Or 6%. So you get to lose weight and keep it off. And that's what's really important to me. And speaking of which, the 5 things I'm going to mention today will help you create a sustainable foundation for weight loss, right? Absolutely. A sustainable foundation that lasts. But if you are looking for like the next level of accountability that you just can't miss out on, maybe a deeply connected driving force to motivate you daily, clear instructions on what to eat, simple tools to help you control your portion sizes, maybe something to help you continue your progress when life gets in the way. If that's what you're wanting, I've got a free 5-day coaching opportunity. We start on Monday, so that's in a few days. And that runs Monday to Friday for 5 days. It's about an hour each session, and it's going to be next level. I ran about 8 to 10 of these last year. Almost every one of them was different. Why is this one different? Because it is the most valuable aspects and concepts of all of those that I did last year compiled into one huge, valuable and effective 5-day training. So I'm super excited about that, of course. Pop the word bootcamp underneath this video, or just DM me now the word bootcamp if you want to get signed up, or if you want any more information, and I can just take it to the next step for you. So let's have a look at the 5 things that I suggest that you start this year to lose weight and keep it off, because remember, that's the key here. We're not about instant quick fixes. I am all about trying to make it stay off for life. 1, I want you to set clear goals. Now, this is very obvious for many people, and we're in the goal setting era right now. We're in the goal setting phase. Everyone's starting to set goals. It's January. That's beautiful. However, the main element here is to remind yourself of them every single day. And that's the difference. A lot of people write down goals and then forget about it. It's like buying something in, putting it at the back of the cupboard or the back of the fridge, and then you only notice it like 3 years later. Or if it's in the back of the fridge, you notice it when it's wilted and manky and off. That's the thing with goals, is out of sight, out of mind. Now, if your goals are out of your sight, they're going to be out of your mind. There's a part of your brain that intentionally, it's called the RAS, there's a part of your brain that intentionally looks for things that it finds are important to it. So, for example, your name. Have you ever experienced being in a room and you hear your name from the other side of the room, even though there's 100 conversations going on at once? So your name to your brain is incredibly important. So if you are writing, reading, looking, reminding yourself of your goals every single day, they become important. How does that create success? Well, if your goals are at the forefront of your mind, 1, you're going to remember every single day why you are doing this. So every single time you get to an opportunity where you have, or a chance where you can decide whether your next action is in alignment with your goals or not, you are reminded, because you've been reminding yourself every day, of your goals. So you are more than likely to stay on track and to stay in alignment with goals. If the last time you looked at them, read them was last week, 2 weeks, 3 months ago, they're not going to be at the forefront. So going back to the part of your brain that looks for information that's important to it, Another way that this works is when you're thinking about your goals, it's important to you. So then your brain is going to go out and seek ways in which we can bring that in. So this is kind of like how manifestation works. If you're constantly thinking about it, constantly talking about it, constantly saying it, you're going to be open to more opportunities of those things coming to you, because you're going to be open to receiving them. Okay, so with your goals, remind yourself of them every single day. But with them, make sure you know exactly how they need to pan out. Now, goals, they might not pan out. Actually, they're probably not going to pan out exactly as you planned. And that's okay. But having clear steps to get there, so milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, or I need to achieve this, I need to do this, and I need to do this, is going to help you drive forward every single day, week, month of the year, because you're giving yourselves little steps to get there, better than taking no steps at all. So you're more than likely to get there when you've got the clarity, right? A clear destination, clear action steps to get there. They need to be specific, right? We've probably all heard of SMART goals. You need to, SMART is an acronym, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, right? So we need to make sure they're specific, that we can measure them, so that we can black or white completely say, yes, I have achieved this, or no, I haven't. Otherwise, they tend to be a little bit blasé. They tend to be a little bit like, not too sure. Achievable, of course, you want to make sure that it's actually physically possible, that it's relevant to you, and that you give it a time frame. So if you haven't heard of SMART goals, but you need a little bit more information on that, just have a little Google, or feel free to tag me and ask me. That's a very clear way of breaking down your goals, so you have absolute clarity on how to get there. Now, I said about reminding yourself every day. You can do that however you wish. So you can set daily reminders on your phone. You can set an alarm. I have these, which I actually gave out the other week. If you want, oh God, I can't see this. If you want a copy, then find the post I wrote. It should be up in the pinned videos. But basically, I made this, and on the back there, it's got like all my goals. So what this is, and I've got 3 copies of this. This is my biggest copy, but I have 3 copies of, and I have that next to my bed in my morning journal, next to my bed in my evening book that I read, and usually that's on my desk, but it keeps falling off at the moment, so I need to figure out where I put that. So I have them morning, all the way through the day, and evening. There's a couple of other things and ways that I have that to remind myself every single day, and that's alarms that I set on my phone. Yes, they're annoying. Yes, they sometimes go off in client calls. That's why I have my phone silent. But every single day, it just reminds me of my goals and the things that are very important to me that I want to bring into my life. So if you try to remind yourself of them every day and you forget, recognize that whatever system that you're using isn't working after about a week, right? And then try something else, and then try something else. So whether it's a sticky note, reminders on your phone, a calendar appointment, like a recurring calendar appointment, notification, a reminder, a poster everywhere you look, a poster opposite your toilet, wherever you're going, a vision board, wherever you're going or wherever you are at multiple points of the day, have something in that place to remind you of them, and you will be attracting them like a freaking magnet, I promise. Okay, number 2 is to find accountability. So the power of support is insane, and so many studies have shown time and time again that you are more likely to succeed with accountability, right? This, I do believe, is a huge part of the reason why my clients thrive, because we have such a close-knit community. We have a group chat, we have a client community lounge area. There is constant connection. We have competitions, we have workshops. They are in it together, right? This Facebook group that you're watching this video on it's quite a loose community. There's some people dabbling, there's some people not interested, some people just come in for recipes. So there's like a mixed bunch of you guys in here. But when you take it to next level, so when you take it smaller to a more purpose-led group of people, pod of people, the accountability just tenfold, right? So something like the bootcamp that I mentioned that's next week, right? That is one of those insane level of accountability and supports that you can get. And by the way, that's for free, as well as like the client community that I have as well. So whether that accountability looks like joining the free 5-day bootcamp, whether it means signing up as a client, whether it means going out there and asking all of your friends for a level of accountability that you've never had before, whether it means posting inside this Facebook group and asking if anyone's ready to make a huge change and a huge difference and is committed to change, post it in here, right? You've got to be proactive about this. You can ask someone to hold you accountable. You can be accountable for someone else. But if you are not persistent and proactive with it, it can easily fall by the wayside. How do I know this? Because I've done it myself. I've reached out in so many health coaching groups for accountability for business, and people have written back and I've just not got back to them because I've been busy, and then I've not had the accountability, right? But when I have posted and have committed and have pushed them as much as they've pushed me, and intentionally gone with some structure and some rules, that helps boost the accountability. And guess what happened when that happened? I got way more done, right? My progress doubled. So make sure that you're being proactive, make sure you set some rules and set some standards for yourself. But at the end of the day, go out and seek that next level of accountability, whether it's in a small pod, if you make it in a chat on here, whether it is a friend that you have in real life outside of the internet, whether it is a family member, whatever it is, find that accountability and support. Okay. And there is, to be fair, no other better place than inside this Facebook group. I speak to so many people on a daily basis that say, oh, I don't want to post because there's not many people that post in this group. Guys, just post away. Yeah, this is your community. I want this to be like a community board for you. Ask questions, find accountability groups and pods if you wish. That's what this Facebook page is about. And every now and then I pop in with a free training for you. So number 3 is to be honest with yourself. And I mean radically fucking honest. I want you to be the most honest with yourself than you ever have been to anyone else or yourself ever. A lot of people really struggle with being honest with themselves. We overshoot the mark, we underestimate, we overestimate, we don't use data to come to conclusions or to be to analyze things. Okay, so what I mean really is track things, journal things, just be honest with yourself. Notice when things come up, address them. Almost like you're not trying to call out, but that you're really sensitive to calling yourself, your own bullshit out. Because a lot of people will mask their own bullshit, and that is where we will find the pitfalls, essentially. Because if you're not being honest with yourself, you're not going to find where you might be overeating, stress eating, just over consuming, not being motivated enough, not being self-disciplined enough. And a lot of the time we'll just say, yeah, I tried it, it didn't work. But say, is that honest? Like, did I try it? Did I put every single ounce of effort into it? Honestly, did I do that? Maybe not. I probably could have done some more. In that case, it wasn't everything that I could do. So in that case, I didn't do everything. And once we're honest with ourselves, we're looking at the facts, right? Just try and think of like, what are the facts? What would be proven in a court of law? When you look at the facts, then you can be radically honest with yourself. Honesty isn't about guilt. It's just about awareness and empowerment. I want you to be aware of your behaviors, aware of your pitfalls, aware of your flaws. Because otherwise, if you're just glazing over them and pretending like they don't exist, then you're going to be stuck in a rut. You're going to find things difficult. You're going to struggle to lose weight and keep it off because you're just glazing over where the real culprits are. You can use food diaries. You can take photos of your meals, of your food for a few days. You can look at your eating patterns. You can reflect on any time you might have skipped out on workouts, any time that you might have emotionally eaten, any episodes of binge eating. Like, write it out. Like, this is exactly what happened. Don't be shamed or don't be ashamed or guilty of what you've done. Be curious. Okay. Number 4 is to journal in a way that feels freaking good for you. Now, for some of you, journaling sounds like the worst possible thing you could ever do. Trust me, I know, because I have half of my clients who love journaling, a quarter of my clients who love journaling after hating journaling, and the last quarter of my clients are still stuck in the hating phase. But when we crack through that, when I get them to journal in a way that works for them, we create so much progress. Now, I was actually saying to my partner the other day, I was holding my journal. Now, this last year, 2024, has been the most consistent year for me journaling, right? And I'll be open and honest with that. It's been the most consistent I've had. But guess what? It's also had the most personal development and most growth ever in my diaries, ever. Now, I still have like my old copies of some of my diaries lying around, and 2024, there's just this thick ass notebook. I am so proud of myself because so many breakthroughs, so many revelations, so much understanding, so much compassion for myself, my flaws, but has poured out into this journal. But also so many resolves, so many resolutions have come from that because I have poured out my thoughts. And what happens when we pour out our thoughts? So when our thoughts are in our head, they are packed full of emotions, like a load of people bumping around in a small room with thick coats on, right? And those thick coats are like the emotion. Now, once you take the thoughts and write them down, they might not make sense. They might not be logical. They might look like utter bullshit when you get them on paper, but you've gotten rid of the coats. You've stripped them bare, and now you've just got like the thoughts on there, okay? And they might have emotion in them, but they're not taking up space, and they were taking up space in your head. Now, a lot of thoughts and feelings our brain sees as incredibly important. So if you go to bed at night, your brain's going, oh shit, I need to store onto that. I need to remember that. I need to remember that. I need to remember that. And that causes stress. That build-up causes a lot of stress. And writing them down is going to help you normalize your thoughts. It's going to help you regulate your mindset, balance your emotions, reduce stress, and free up so much of that cognitive space as best as you possibly can. Now, you can do this in bullet points. The clients of mine who absolutely point blank refuse to journal, I ask them for 2 minutes of journaling, just 2 minutes. If anyone's familiar with Atomic Habits by James Clear, you'll know that starting a habit is important. If it feels like a monumental task, we must start small, whether it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes doing something. Starting small and staying consistent is how you build up that habit. So I tell my clients to start off with just 2 minutes. Now, that could literally look like enough time to open the journal, get the pen, get the cap on the pen, write down 5 single words, and close the journal again. Whether it's 2 minutes of bullet points or just words or doodles, right? One of my clients is a beautiful artist. She loves to draw her feelings and thoughts and emotions. Voice note it to yourself, record it to yourself, send it to yourself. Okay, these are all ways in which it might feel better for you than the traditional way of journaling. Now, I'm not going to go into like how you should journal or what the easiest method is, because that is like literally a whole module in in my coaching course, or it's going to be a whole module anyway. But it is like a half an hour session, so I do not have that time. But there is a right and a wrong way to journal. But either way, just start. Just start. It's going to help boost your mental clarity, process emotions, start recognizing your triggers, helping you stay positive, bringing some gratitude. There are so many benefits to journaling, and I guarantee you will have so much progress if you just spill your thoughts onto paper. Just looking at what time I have my next client. Okay, cool. 1 second. Okay, where's my number 5? Number 5 for 2025, the number one tip that I would recommend for everyone who wants sustainable weight loss is eat more plants. Plant-based foods are nutrient dense, and typically they're much lower in calories, they're higher in fiber. This helps us feel fuller for longer, to detox our body from toxins and chemicals. It helps us increase the volume of food that we can have for less calories. It fills us up better and easier and in a healthy way. Which can obviously reduce the overall caloric intake through over the day. So if you don't get in any fresh fruits or vegetables, start adding in a portion with each meal. You can start every single meal by eating your veggies, your plants first, but there is not going to be a negative effect of you adding in more plants, whether it's every snack, every meal, half of your meals. I recommend my clients have half of their plate of vegetables, and to start with the vegetables first, right? Either way, whatever you're doing, add more. Whatever you do, add more veggies. And if you can add low starch veggies, so dark green vegetables, green, colorful fruits and vegetables, over heavy starches like grains and fats, which contain a little bit more calories per gram, then you are going to be able to get that volume in, which is ideal for weight loss. Now, you still need a source of grain, you need a source of protein, a source of fats. Let's not pretend that other macronutrients exist, but don't exist, should I say. But just incorporating more plants wherever possible is going to have a huge benefit to you. And a long-term benefit. Okay, so start simple. If you don't have many fruits and vegetables, just add an extra portion to your snacks. Make sure you have a snack that's like a fruit or vegetable. I love like just chomping down on a tomato or a mushroom or a bell pepper for a snack, right? Grab some carrots, roast some vegetables while it's still winter. Make the most of that. Just chuck it in the air fryer, chuck them in the oven, roast them. They make really delicious snacks, by the way. The way that this is working is crowding in to crowd out, right? So we're not cutting out, we're crowding out, not cutting out. So what I mean by this is when you add more plants, rather than eliminating your favorite foods, what you're doing is filling up first on those low calorie, high volume foods, which gives you less room for the high calorie foods. So I'm not saying don't go for them. I'm not saying don't have the pizza. Literally, I have on the plan for this Saturday pizza date night with my partner. We're going to have a huge salad with sun-dried tomatoes and some beetroot, some sun-dried tomatoes, not in oil, and beetroot and tomatoes, and it's going to be a huge bowl. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my bowls are like this big, so they're going to be full of arugula or rocket, depending on where you're from, and veggies. So lots and lots of vegetables, and then we're going to move on to our pizza. And now I had no shame in this whatsoever, an entire pizza eater. I would eat a whole baguette of garlic bread, and I would still have room for dessert. Now, if my friend was a vegan, she would be in this group, but I lived with her for 3 years, And almost every week we would order Domino's. I would get a large pizza, large garlic bread, and a chocolate lava cake, and would still polish more off. Because it's easy to eat foods, easy to swallow. They go down, they don't need much chewing, right? Whereas plants do. Plants have fiber, they have structure to them. That means it's filling my belly up quicker. So when I have a huge salad to start off with, I just have much less room for pizza, which is fantastic because I get to eat my pizza. I don't get to feel like I don't have to feel like I'm missing out. Excuse me. Still get to enjoy the flavors. I just don't need as much. And that's not cutting out foods that I enjoy. That's crowding out foods that I enjoy, but don't help me achieve my goals. And that's what we're doing by eating more plants. Guys, these 5 steps, they create that sustainable foundation for weight loss that lasts. I told you at the start, and I'm going to tell you again. These 5 are a great foundation to start. But again, if you're looking for that next level accountability, that next level of finding a deep driving force that motivates you on a daily basis, clear instructions on what to eat, a simple tool that helps you control your portion sizes effortlessly, then come and join our bootcamp. We start Monday. Comment bootcamp, DM me bootcamp. Just get the word bootcamp my way, and I will get you signed up. All right, team. That was a huge episode. There was a lot of value in there. I hope you guys found this valuable. Pop in the comments whether you found it valuable, what your biggest takeaway from this video is, from this training is. I would love to hear. The more comments you drop, the more information that you give me on how well you took on this live, the training. It's much more useful for me to curate more valuable content for you. So let me know how you found this. Let me know if you're going to implement anything in 2025. I would love to hear. And don't forget to comment bootcamp or DM me bootcamp to join January 2025's bootcamp to kick off the year. It's going to be big. It's going to be sexy. I will see you all soon. Bye.